Welcome to our channel. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Warning: the following contains images of graphic violence and not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Beverly Hills emergency.
Yes, please.
What's the problem?
Sounds,
What's the problem? What's the problem?
someone killed my parents.
Pardon me?
Someone killed my parents.
What? Who? Are they still there?
Yes.
The people...
No.
Were they shot?
Hey, man, you.
Were they shot?
Yes.
They were shot?
Yes.
102, 722 North Elmont.
What happened? Hey, stand up,
I have a hysterical person on. We're trying to get screen further. Other units responding. Is the person still there?
What happened? We have units around. What happened? Who shot who? I don't know. You came home and found who shot? Mom and Dad.
You know if they're still in the house, the people that did the shooting.
Get away from him. Okay. Let me talk to Erik. Who is the person that was shot? My mom and my dad. Your mom and dad? My mom and my dad. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, we're on the way over there with an ambulance. Okay, I gotta go. Okay.
They were married in 1963 and moved to New York City, where Jose earned an accounting degree from Queens College. The couple's first son, Joseph Lyle, who goes by his middle name, was born on January 10, 1968, in New York. Kitty quit her teaching job after Lyle was born, and the family moved to New Jersey, where Erik Galen was born on November 27, 1970, in Gloucester Township. The family lived in Hopewell Township and both brothers attended Princeton Day School. In mid-1976, Lyle and Erik's cousin, Diane Vandermolen, came to stay with them. She later stated Lyle confessed to her that his father was sexually abusing him. Vandermolen claimed to have told Kitty what Lyle had said, but also claimed Kitty sided with her husband and said Lyle was lying. Vandermolen recalls that afterward, Kitty put Lyle upstairs, and that was the last Vandermolen heard of the claim. The brothers have claimed that their father stopped abusing Lyle when he was 8 and started abusing Erik, who was 6 at the time. Kitty's eldest sister Joan Vandermolen also backed the sexual abuse allegations in a 2017 interview with People. However, Kitty's brother Milton Anderson has described the allegations as bull. Jose became an executive of Hertz Global Holdings and later, RCA Records. In 1986, the family moved to Beverly Hills, California, when he was appointed as the CEO of Artisan Entertainment, then known as Live Entertainment. 8.5. The following year, Erik attended Beverly Hills High School where he earned average grades but displayed a remarkable talent for tennis, ranking 44th in the U.S. as a junior. About 2 weeks before the murders, Erik and his friend Michael Joyce entered the 1989 Boys Junior National Tennis Championship. Erik reached the second round of qualifying in the boys' 18 singles, while Joyce reached the quarterfinals. Lyle attended Princeton University, where he was placed on academic probation for poor grades and eventually suspended for plagiarism. Crimes. On the evening of August 20, 1989, Jose and Kitty were watching television in the den of their Beverly Hills mansion when Lyle and Erik entered the den, carrying Mossberg 12-gauge shotguns. Jose was shot 6 times, including a fatal shot to the back of his head. Kitty was shot 10 times in total. Before the fatal shot to her cheek, she was on the ground, crawling away. Lyle ran to the car, where Erik handed him ammunition to reload before firing the fatal shot to her face. Immediately after the killings, both brothers remained in the house, expecting the police to respond due to the noise of the gunshots. They later left to dispose of their clothes that were stained with blood and brain matter, then buried the shotguns somewhere along Mulholland Drive. In between these, they also went to a movie theater and attempted to purchase tickets for the film Batman to use as their alibi, but abandoned the plan due to the timestamp on the ticket stub. They then headed to the Taste of LA festival at the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium. After returning home and finding no police presence, Lyle called 911 to report that his parents had been killed by unknown perpetrators. When the police arrived, they did not seek gunshot residue tests from the brothers, which would have indicated whether they had recently discharged a firearm. In the months after the killings, the brothers spent lavishly on luxury items, businesses, and travel. Lyle bought Chuck's Spring Street Cafe, a buffalo wing restaurant in Princeton, New Jersey, as well as a Rolex watch and a Porsche Carrera sports car. Erik hired a full-time tennis coach and competed in a series of tournaments overseas. The brothers eventually left the Beverly Hills mansion unoccupied, choosing to live in adjoining condominiums in nearby Marina del Rey. They also dined extravagantly and took overseas trips to the Caribbean and London. Collectively, they spent approximately $700,000 before their arrests. Family members later disputed a connection between their spending and the murder of their parents, claiming that there were no changes in their spending habits after the killings. At one point, they attended a New York Knicks basketball game, which became immortalized when they appeared courtside in the background of a Mark Jackson trading card. During the early stages of the investigation, police tried to narrow their search to suspects who had motives to kill Jose and Kitty, and also investigated potential mob leads. As the investigation continued, they began to suspect the brothers were the most likely perpetrators due to the obvious financial motive and their exorbitant spending after the killings. In an attempt to get a confession from Erik, police arranged for his friend, Craig Signorelli, to wear a wire during a lunch with Erik at a local beachfront restaurant. When Signorelli asked Erik whether he had killed his parents, Erik denied it. Erik eventually confessed to his psychologist, Jerome Oziel, who then told his mistress, Judalon Smith. Oziel later broke up with Smith, who, in a fit of rage, told the police about the brothers' involvement. Lyle was arrested on March 8, 1990, and Erik turned himself in 3 days later after returning to Los Angeles from Israel. Both were held without bail and jailed separately. In August 1990, Judge James Albrecht ruled that tapes of the conversations between Erik and Oziel were admissible evidence since Oziel stated that Lyle threatened him and violated doctor-patient privilege. Albrecht's ruling was appealed, after which the proceedings were delayed for 2 years. The Supreme Court of California ruled in August 1992 that most of the tapes were admissible, with the exception of the tape on which Erik discussed the murders. After that decision, a Los Angeles County grand jury issued indictments in December 1992, charging the brothers with the murders of their parents.
Meeting come to order. Division 5 is once again in session. Honorable Judge Stein, Judge presiding.
Good afternoon. This is of the people of the state of California versus Erik Menendez and Joseph Lyle Menendez. The record will reflect the defendants are present with counsel and the people are represented. Would you defendants please? Erik Menendez. Joseph Lyle Menendez. Is that your two? Erik Menendez, you are charged in count 1 with a violation of Penal Code Section 1, murder of Jose Menendez, for financial gain while lying in wait with a firearm. You are further charged in count 2 with a violation of Penal Code Section 187A, murder of Maria Menendez, a human being, for financial gain while lying in wait with a firearm. You are further charged with special circumstances for which you could be sentenced to death. Do you?
Also, the people at this time are moving to release the contents of the affidavit. We've discussed this with counsel, and they'd also like an opportunity to brief that issue as well on the day of the continuance. So I don't have anything to do with that.
Your Honor, we would, however, like to receive the documents so that we can prepare the matters for further proceedings on March the 26th, as well as prepare for a bail motion on behalf of Erik Menendez. That being the case, we would ask that the matter to provide us to counsel immediately into counsel.
Including the affidavit for search warrant.
Understanding that this discovery is going to be released to counsel under the circumstances where they're going to have an opportunity to review it for purposes of these motions, and that it's not to be disclosed to consider counsel except those who are immediately operating with counsel. We have no difficulty in this releasing this discovery.
It's our understanding that the matters are being released to us and only us, and that we will not be allowed to release them to anyone, other than discussing them with our client.
In light of the representations and motions of counsel, the arraignment and plea in this matter is continued to March 25th, 1990 at 2 p.m. It is further ordered that the affidavit be released to counsel for the defendants are each ordered not to discuss the contents, either directly or indirectly, of the sealed affidavit with anyone other than the client without further court order. The matter will be continued also to the 26th of March for investigation regarding any potential conflict of interest. And of course, for determination of the status of the sealed affidavit, further motions and examination.
The record should reflect that he will waive time till March the 26th for these purposes.
That will be the next matter for the court to request. Mr. Erik Menendez, you have the right to have your arraignment and plea within 48 hours of your arrest, and your preliminary hearing within 10 days of your arraignment and within 60 days of your arraignment. You give up that right. Counsel, speak with John. Thank you.
May the record reflect that I am handling counsel?
Because we need to have a meeting.
We can do that.
Joseph Lyle Menendez, you have the right to have your arraignment within 48 hours of your arrest, your preliminary hearing within 10 days of your arraignment in plea, and within 60 days of your arraignment in plea. You give up that right. Counsel join?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. People join. Thank you, Mr. Alhan.
All right, I made the record reflect that I am handing the discovery of this case to counsel for Mr. Joseph Lyle Menendez and counsel for Erik Menendez. And counsel will just send
Record will so reflect.
These documents are a copy of this case.
yes, we'll back to
Anything further? What is the discussion?
When I walked in the room, I was panicking, and I just fired every shot I had. I didn't stop to take a look at what I was doing after each shot. I just fired until there was nothing left. And what happened in between when I first started firing, when I ended, it's just a red blank to me.
The GMA exclusive first look, Lyle and Erik Menendez reuniting behind bars. The brothers who killed their parents in 1989 had not seen each other in more than 20 years, and now we're hearing from Lyle for the first time about that emotional reunion. And you have more on that, Amy?
That's right, Robin. For more than 2 decades, Lyle and Erik Menendez have served their time in separate prisons. But earlier this month, Lyle was transferred to the same facility, even the same housing unit as his little brother Erik. And now, for the first time since being reunited, Lyle is speaking exclusively with Daily Mail TV, and we have the very first look.
22 years, exactly.
22 years since the last time Lyle and Erik Menendez were face-to-face after being convicted of murdering their parents in their upscale Beverly Hills home.
I remember firing directly at him.
At the time, speaking to Barbara Walters, Erik then dreading the possibility of a life away from his brother.
We will spend the rest of our life in prison. We're not put in the same prison. There's a good probability I will never see him again. That would be very, very difficult to live through.
They would, until earlier this month, Lyle finally transferred to the same Southern California prison as his brother. That grin on his face saying it all. And now he's speaking out to Daily Mail TV for the first time about that reunion.
I ended up bursting into tears. It was just quite an emotional moment, almost unexpectedly. So I think for me, I thought maybe I'd just be numb. It was just something I wasn't sure was ever going to happen. It was just a remarkable moment.
It's very emotional. Lyle was not sure how he was going to respond to this day. There was a lot of trepidation, a lot of emotion. All this time apart from his younger brother, he said, has been like an open wound. The fact that they are now finally back together, serving out the rest of their prison sentences, is finally starting to heal the process.
The brothers have maintained that the killing was an act of desperation after years of sexual abuse at the hands of their father. Abuse they say their mother ignored, and that they feared for their lives.
I thought they were going ahead with their plan to kill us.
But Lyle now saying if he could do it all again, he wouldn't resort to murder.
if I could take my consciousness now and go back, I would have gone to the police and taken my chances in exposing what was happening.
And as for that damning confession Erik made to his then therapist, an admission that seethed its way back into pop culture last year as part of Law & Order True Crime, the Menendez murders.
You told me everything. How you shot your parents, where you bought the shotguns.
Oh, God, Erik. I had to tell somebody. I wanted to kill myself.
Wish that he had, just talked to me or, spent more time just going to his parish priest and not ended up with sort of this, therapist's hand.
Lyle says he's forgiven his brother Erik and that their close relationship has remained a constant.
Erik and I have never had any moments of animosity or anything like that. I love him deeply.
Now, Erik says he is not ready to speak yet, but the brothers, once housed more than 500 miles apart, get to see each other every single day, and that's something their family is also very happy about. The complete interview will air on Daily Mail TV today and tomorrow, so you can check your local listings.
That is some story.